Welcome to the Rockabye Revenue Podcast with me, Abby Watson. I'm a mum of 4 and a business strategist, and I train people to become hypnobirthing teachers. In the last decade, I've built a thriving baby business that grew beyond my wildest dreams. This podcast is for you if you run a business or dream of running a business in the birth and baby industry. You want to change lives whilst making more money. I'm talking about creating sustainable income whilst being present for the people that matter most. I believe for our baby businesses to have the impact we desire, we must be rewarded. On this podcast, expect me to share actionable strategies without the jargon. I've been where you are. I've built a business while raising 4 little ones, and now I'm here to help you turn your passion into profit while creating the life you've always dreamed of. So let's get started. Hello, lovely one, and welcome back to another episode of Rockabye Revenue. So I am here today to talk about the big P prices. And it's not the first time that I've spoke about pricing. Today is all about why raising your prices is not actually just about money. It's about ensuring that you're able to continue such a high level of service for your clients. So actually how it can be so beneficial to your clients as well. Now, a few episodes ago, episode 42, I spoke about whether it's the right time to raise your prices. So if you are thinking about, am I due a price increase? Go back to episode 42 and have a listen to that one, okay? But today, like I said, we're going to talk about why actually it's certainly not about being greedy. It's certainly not about rinsing your clients. It's actually about ensuring that you give them the level of service that they need, Now, let's be honest, pricing can come with all the feels. And if you are new to business, maybe you're starting out by thinking, what do I even charge? And it absolutely can feel so scary. And we all have a mindset when it comes to money, asking for money, what to charge, and it can come with some big feelings. And I really recommend Denise Duffield Thomas's book that is about money mindset. She's a money mindset expert, and the things that she writes, the courses she has, really addresses these things, these feelings that so many of us have when it comes to pricing, charging, and what she talks about can be super, super useful. Now, the reason I'm talking about raising prices right now is because I am in the process of talking about a price increase. This might be the first time you've heard it, or actually you might have heard me talking about my price increase before. So on the 7th of October, after a whole 3 years of no price increase, I am increasing my prices for my hypnobirthing teacher training. And I am not immune from all those big feelings that come with that. And certainly I have spent time overthinking this decision, And what has it felt like? Well, it's felt a bit like, oh my gosh, am I going to see that suddenly no one wants to train with me anymore because I'm too expensive, in air quotes? I've also felt like, oh my gosh, are people going to think I'm greedy? These are some of the big feelings that can come with raising prices, even if we know that is totally irrational. Like I said, I haven't had a price increase in the last 3 years, even though I know that my course has absolutely improved since the early days. I've added lots to it. And the people that come and train with us now have the benefit of a whole wealth of experience that I've collected over the years. So of course, a price increase is due, especially considering the rate of inflation and how so many other things have increased in prices. Now, why is this? Certainly not about being greedy. And why is it actually about the level of service? Well, I tell you why. If you, like me, increase your pricing, you are going to have potentially more revenue in your business to ensure that you can deliver excellent service. Let's face it, our costs might be more than they were a few years ago. And as a result, we might, if we don't increase our prices, have to cut back on certain things when it comes to what we deliver to clients. You know, if we don't build these increases that we've had to endure into our pricing, well, we're going to have to cut things, you know? And that might not be things even like venues or resources. It might even be things like support for ourselves as business owners, as professionals. If we feel like we can't afford that because we're not charging well, actually that has a knock-on effect on our clients and potential clients. You know, if we're not able to invest in ourselves and our businesses, of course, the level of service that we're offering can be impacted. As well as this, not all clients, and actually very few, are likely to choose you based on being the cheapest. And those that do are probably not the people you want to attract. You want people to invest in whatever you offer because they feel so aligned with what you offer. And they feel so invested in, you know, how you do things. They relate to you. They're not going to you because you are the cheapest. Now, when I started out offering hypnobirthing teacher training over 5 years ago, I was definitely one of the more expensive companies. I still attracted many hypnobirthing teachers because they could see that what I offered was very different from the competition. Now, what I've noticed as the years have gone on is that where my competitors might have increased their pricing, I've not. And as a result, actually, my pricing is very similar to the competition. And I know that can have a bit of a negative effect. Like where I'm talking about the training that I offer, that I know is superior to a lot of the training providers out there. You know, it comes with so many things that the competition do not have. And I know from the feedback that I get from graduates, certainly those that have previously trained elsewhere, that what we offer really prepares people to get out in front of clients and allows them to build an incredible business. Now, if I'm saying that, but actually the price doesn't align with what I'm talking about, people can be suspicious. People can think, oh, that sounds a bit too good to be true. You know, it can plant that seed of doubt. Absolutely. And then as a result, we don't attract the right people. You know, we lose people to others because actually, subconsciously, there's been this level of doubt because you sound so great, but your pricing sounds really basic. You know, your product, your course, whatever it is you offer sounds like high end, but the pricing sounds like cheap. You know, there's going to be suspicion. And as a result, that can impact who we're attracting and actually have this negative impact on the business and the community as a whole. So if you too are considering a price increase, please hear me when I say this might be excellent for your business and excellent for your clients too. The clients that pay, and this is not my saying, by the way, I don't know whose saying it is, but it's a good one. The clients that pay attention. They've invested. They're going to take this seriously. If they feel like, they've given over money and actually it wasn't really a big deal for them, are they going to be showing up? Or are they the ones that are going to cancel last minute? If you're a hypnobirthing teacher, and your courses are really quite cheap, maybe these are the clients that are going to sign up and then they're going to mess you about because they're just not invested and they're not respectful of your time. Also, let's face it, when people invest in what we offer, they're not really paying for our time. They're paying for what we bring to it. Our energy, our enthusiasm, our spirit almost, They're paying for, this amazing thing that we bring to it as the course leader, as the business owner. And actually, when we charge well, we do not feel resentment. We don't feel overworked and underpaid. And as a result, what we bring to our business is so much more nourishing for our clients. That level of service will be so much higher. So please, if you're ever feeling like, oh my gosh, this is going to impact my clients so much because I'm increasing my prices, and you're saying that so much as if it's a really negative thing, also remember that, it'll impact your clients so much, but perhaps in a really positive way, Perhaps it will mean that they get even more from your incredible service. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Quick pause before we get back in to tell you that if you are currently thinking about becoming a hypnobirthing teacher, I have the opportunity for you. Starting on the 22nd of September, I'm going to be running a free training called Could You Be a Hypnobirthing Teacher, where you'll get the opportunity to learn in-demand skills to give you a strong foundation ready if you decide to take the plunge to be a hypnobirthing teacher. And guess what? It's completely free. It's over 3 days for an hour each day, all online. And don't worry, if you miss it, you'll be sent the recording. So sign up. The link is in the show notes, and I can't wait to see you there. And I want you to remember that if you are considering a price increase, you are not alone. As a business owner, it is important that you are updating your pricing. And, I read that 81% of business owners are considering a price increase in the next year. It's business sense to think about what we should be charging and reviewing that. Not just sat stagnant, charging what we charged when we started out 5 years ago. No doubt what you offer your clients has improved, become even better. Your pricing absolutely can reflect that. And as I said earlier, if you want to dive deeper into whether a price increase is what you need right now, do go back to episode 42 when I talked about whether it's time to raise your prices. And if you are someone that is listening to this podcast and you are thinking about becoming a hypnobirthing teacher and you've had your eye on my training, let this be a reminder that from the 7th of October, my prices will be increasing because the level of service has absolutely increased, and the price, the investment absolutely needs to reflect that. So if you want to jump in before that price increase, absolutely do, because come the 7th of October, you will see that the pricing has gone up. Okay. And I am confident that that will still be absolutely incredible value, because I am confident that what we offer at Love Your Birth is a really outstanding service. And I'm confident that it doesn't really compare to a lot of the other companies out there. And I'm sure that's so true for the other listeners on this podcast today. I know that if you are listening to this, you are someone who, yes, wants to earn from your business, but you also want to deliver incredible things, and you do it. And therefore, you should be rewarded well for what you do. So have a great day. As always, do hop over to my Instagram at loveyourbirth_training and tell me your key takeaway from today. And I shall see you next time for another episode of Rockabye Revenue. Take care. Bye. Thank you for listening to Rockabye Revenue. I hope this episode has left you with some fresh ideas and bundles of motivation. If you enjoyed this episode, do make sure you click subscribe so you never miss an installment. And if you found this episode useful, I'd love you forever if you leave a 5-star review, helping this podcast reach the ears of more of the helpers in this world. And remember, keep changing lives. See you next time.